Santa Barbara has the edge in every category.
They sure do, but in that big one, it's home runs and RBIs. And look at that team batting average, .348. That's amazing for any college team.
Okay. One of the things tonight that you want to keep an eye on is the pitchers, and we probably will see a few from each side. Starting for the visiting UC Santa Barbara Gauchos will be a left-hander by the name of Steve Connolly. And, Jay, what can you tell us about Steve?
Steve's got a fastball, a curveball, a slider, and a change, but primarily he throws a lot of off-speed pitches. He moves the ball around, tries to keep the ball down. As you can see, he's warming up here. He has a fastball that tails a little bit, but his basic good pitch or his out pitch is his curveball.
And for the University of Southern California, they will start right-hander Mike Sieber, who normally comes out of the bullpen, getting a rare start tonight.
This is his first start, and Mike has got a fastball, a curveball, and a change, and his out pitches has changed. And I think we're going to see a lot of change-ups tonight because he wants to keep this UC Santa Barbara hitters off stride, and so he's going to throw a lot of off-speed pitches and hopefully get them to hit the ball on the ground or pop up.
Okay, so it's a cool evening. Whether or not the ball will carry, we'll find out. UC Santa Barbara against the University of Southern California in college baseball. So I'm Jeff Butcher along with Jay Johnstone, and we'll be back with the start of tonight's ball game. Campus of USC right after this.
Toyota introduces the new body shop parts and service departments. In our parts department, we carry over $200,000 worth of quality Toyota parts and accessories with a friendly sales staff eager to serve you. Our body shop and service departments are equipped with 32 service bays and a full staff of experienced certified mechanics. Stop by our body and service departments at 2014 East Colorado or the new parts outlet at 2086 East Colorado. Our spring tune-up special is only $31.99 for four-cylinder Toyota cars. 3 great services under one great name, Toyota of Pasadena.
You know someone who wants cable TV? Well, now's the time to tell a friend, because when they subscribe before April 30th, they'll get free installation. Better yet, you'll get free cable service. That's right. For every subscriber you recommend, we'll give you $15 worth of free cable service. And there's no limit. So call us for easy details, then get on the phone and tell a friend. Tell all your friends. But hurry, this offer ends April 30th. In Pasadena, Altadena, La Cañada, West Covina, and Walnut, call 818-351-7611. All other cities, call 818-308-2021.
Here at Dado Field at USC in Los Angeles, California, as we get set for USC against UC Santa Barbara. The Gauchos, part of the PCAA, and USC from the Pac-10 Southern Division, and the Trojans take the field. The dimensions here at Dado Field are 335 down the left and right field lines, 375 to the left field power alley, 365 to right center field's power alley, 425 to straightaway center field. And now the crowd is standing for our national anthem. Let's set the Trojans for you defensively. Scott Summers is the first baseman. Ken Housley at second. The shortstop is Dan Henley. Al Villasenor is at third. In the outfield from left to right, Manny Anguiano, Kevin Janik, Don Buford Jr. The Trojan battery tonight, making his first start in a regular season ball game, is Jimmy Campanis, and on the mound, right-hander Mike Sieber. And now, let's go to the head coach of UC Santa Barbara, Al Ferrer, for his starting lineup.
We're going to be going against a right-hander at USC tonight, and the lineup we're going to start off with Scott Cerny, second baseman. Leadoff type hitter, gets on base a lot, steals a base occasionally. 2 spot, we got our left fielder, Mark Leonard. Mark's going to be stealing any opportunity we get. Once again, a high on base percentage, about a .380 hitter, pretty good athlete. In the 3 spot, one of our hottest hitters early in the season, Vince Teixeira. He'll be at third base. In the 4 spot, we're going to be having Greg Vela, power hitter, left-handed hitter, and he'll be covering first defensively for us. In the 5 spot, Quinn Mack. He'll be in right field tonight, another left-handed hitter, line drive type, and has been on a hot streak of late. Following him in the 6th spot, Eric Johnson, preseason All-American at shortstop, line drive hitter with occasional big-time power. In the 7th spot, our DH, Tom Logan. Tom's from Southern California, so he's going to be playing in front of a lot of home folks. Left-handed hitter again, trying to offset the right-hander, and about a .350 hitter. In the 8th spot, Tim McKercher, a switch hitter, execution-type player, and been throwing real well of late. Hope to stop any running that SC might try and throw at us. In the 9th spot, our center fielder, hitting around .380, right-handed hitter Vance Pasquale, one of our best defensive outfielders. That's the lineup the Gauchos are going to go with, and hopefully we can put out a good performance tonight. Our starting pitcher is going to be a left-hander named Steve Conley. Steve's 5-3, coming off of a conference win against Pacific last week. Overall, in his 3-year career, he's 14-5.
The umpiring crew for tonight: Bob Hernandez will be calling balls and strikes, and Simon Peters. And tonight, starting for USC, right-hander Mike Sieber. Sieber 0-1 on the season. His earned run average is 7.78. This is only his second start of the campaign. He has worked 19 2/3 innings. Normally, he comes out of the pen. So Sieber, out of Sacramento, 6'3", 185 pounds, a senior, will work to Scott Cerny, Mark Leonard, and Vince Teixeira in that order. Scott Cerny steps in. 5'8", 160-pounder. He's a senior out of Vacaville, California. We're underway, and it's over for a strike. 0-1 the count.
He's the guy you want to keep off the bases, Jeff. He gets on, he ignites the rally, he gets the things going for this UC club.
As you see, red hot with a .420 average, 1 home run and 20 runs batted in. Hits it to the left side. Dan Henley, the shortstop, makes the throw to Summers. 1 up and 1 down here at the outset.
Right there, he got him out with the slow breaking ball, and I think we're going to see a lot of those pitches.
That'll bring up the Gauchos left fielder, Mark Leonard, another one of their outstanding hitters.
He's a definite pull hitter, and I'm very surprised not to see the SC defense playing him that way.
Fastball misses down low. 1 ball and no strikes. Leonard hitting .387, has a little bit of sock, 5 home runs, and he's driven home 27. Blown away. 2-0 the count to Leonard.
They may be trying to pitch him away, and that's maybe why the SC defense is playing him to hit to the opposite field, but we'll see what happens. Especially when you have an off-speed pitcher, usually you really play him to pull.
He pulls it foul up along the first base side. 2 balls and 1 strike.
It's a big chance for Sieber here, his first start. He's got a chance to show Rondato what he could do after being in the pen all those times. I think he's a little nervous, Jeff.
I would imagine he might have a few butterflies out there. Hit sharply to the right side. A big hop for Housley, and he throws him out.
There's a situation again, Jeff, where he kept the ball away. It was sinking on the outside part of the plate, down. And as a pull hitter, you cannot pull that pitch. If you do, primarily you just hit the ball on the ground right to the second baseman, and he did.
So 2 gone here in the top of the first, and it brings up Vince Teixeira. 6 feet tall, 185 pounds. He's a senior out of Valencia. He's quite a story. 400 average, 11 home runs, 53 runs batted in. Down low, ball one.
He's the type of hitter that he doesn't hit the high towering home runs, Jeff. He hits nothing but line drives, and he hits the ball so hard the ball just carries out the ballpark. He's got tremendous power for a small guy.
He hit 276 last year. He really has moved that average up. 1 ball and 1 strike to Teixeira. He was an outfielder, converted to third base this season. He has soft hands. He's done a tremendous job defensively for Al Ferrer. Mike Sieber checking sides with Jimmy Campanis. Breaking pitch, and it caught the outside corner, according to Bob Hernandez. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Teixeira.
Come to think of it, this is Jimmy Campanis' first start, too, so both of them might be a little nervous in this contest. First starting assignment for Siebers and then Campanis.
Got him. So Teixeira strikes out, and that'll do it for the Gauchos in the top of the first. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. At the end of a half inning, Santa Barbara nothing. USC coming up.
Rise and shine, catch the line, catch the limit here. Now you're talking fishing, now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is smoking here.
Stroh's, fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste.
Now you're talking Stroh's, now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is smoking here.
Oh, Chick Hearn. Give me Chick Hearn.
Chick Hearn. Chick Hearn.
Chick Hearn.
Hey, why is my name suddenly so popular with Prime Ticket viewers? I'll tell you why. It's because Avis will pay your cable bill when you mention my name. Call 1-800-CAL-AVIS. Rent any car 2 days or more, and Avis will deduct your cable bill from their bill. So, in effect, Avis is going to pay for your pay TV. So call or visit Avis. Be sure you mention my name.
Chick Hearn. Chick Hearn. Chicky Hearn. Chick Hearn. Chick Hearn.
I'm Rod Dado. Welcome, college baseball fans. The Trojan lineup for this evening, leading off and playing right field, Donnie Buford. Batting second, our captain, Dan Henley, and playing short. Batting third and playing third base, Al Villasenor. Batting fourth and playing left field, Manny Anguiano. Playing first base, our leading hitter and the leader in the conference, number 3, Scott Summers. Batting in the DH position, Kaha Wong. Batting in the catching position, Jimmy Campanis, a young freshman, his first start, and he's a little bit frightened at the moment. And next at second base, Ken Housley. In center field, Kevin Janik, and on the mound will be a senior, Mike Sieber.
Now let's set the Gauchos of UC Santa Barbara for you defensively, and they have one of the finer defensive clubs in the nation. At first base is Greg Vela, Scott Cerny at second base, Eric Johnson, their shortstop, and at third, Vince Teixeira. In the outfield from left to right, Mark Leonard, Vance Pasqua, Quinn Mack, and the Gauchos battery, Tim McKercher catching, and on the mound, left-hander Steve Connolly. Connolly, 5 wins, 3 losses. This is his 10th start of the season. He's made 2 appearances in relief. His earned run average is 4.42.
For the Trojans, coach at first base is Tom Buford, and over at third is Keith Brown. And leading off for USC, the right fielder.
Leading things off for the Trojans, their right fielder, Don Buford Jr. Now, he's played everywhere in the outfield. Monday against Arizona State, he was in center. Prior to that, he had been playing left field. He's in right field tonight. He's out of Sherman Oaks, 5'10", 171-pounder, a junior, the son of the first base coach for USC, former major leaguer Don Buford Sr., hitting .288, a couple of home runs, 19 runs batted in. In fact, Buford hit his second home run a couple of days ago against Arizona State over the left field wall. So he's got a little bit of power.
You said a mouthful there, Jeff.
Good fastball in for a strike. 0-1 to Don Buford Jr.
The reason he's played all three outfield positions is that he's a pre-med major, so therefore he's practicing surgery in all the outfield places, trying to get that down. But as some hobbies, he also plays the piano and the saxophone, and I know his father is extremely proud of him, even though he says that he takes after his mother's side. I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
Now, is that unusual? One pitch, and immediately Tim Kircher goes out to talk with Conley. What might that have been about?
Could have been a cross-up. Right away, when he calls for a pitch and he throws something and it's not the right one, they've got to get it set right away. But, you know, nobody on. You're only going to look for one finger. So
1 ball and 1 strike to Buford.
The other part is a catcher will give location. If he wants to pitch in a certain area and the pitcher doesn't throw there, he wants to find out why.
Got the inside corner. That'll cost Buford. 1-2 the count now. You joined us late. No score as USC right-hander Mike Sieber put the Gauchos down 1-2-3 in the top of the first, and Buford leading things off here in the home half of the first. UC Santa Barbara, no score. Hit sharply, and a nice play by Teixeira. The long throw in the dirt, dug out beautifully by Craig Vela, and they get Buford. That was fine play, both ends.
Very good play, both sides. Got the breaking ball in on him. He pulled it. Good play by Teixeira, and then he throws it over in the dirt, but watch as he sets himself. Perfect. To take the bad hop. He went right down there with that bad hop and followed it all the way in the glove.
Well, they call it the hot corner. Teixeira, a nice play. 5-3 if you're scoring. That brings up shortstop Dan Henley. He's out of Temple City. He's a senior. Takes down low, ball 1.
As captain of this club, he has really solidified the infield, Jeff. He's done a lot of tremendous things for the other infielders, and he also makes a great double play.
Hitting .319 with 7 home runs. 35 runs batted in. The count evens out at 1-1 to Henley.
He really doesn't get quite the praise he should for his offensive abilities. Everybody talks about his defensive abilities, his leadership, but he does quite well with the bat, as you can see.
He was selected as USC's most valuable player last year. He takes inside 2-1.
One of his hobbies is backpacking. You can tell by his build. He's a stocky little guy, and he looks like he's got muscles on top of muscle.
3-1 the count now to Henley. No score. Bottom of the first non-conference encounter. USC from the Pac-10 Southern Division and UC Santa Barbara out of the PCAA. Ball 4 and Henley's aboard. Rod Dato in his 45th year at USC. 11 national championships. Well, I'll tell you, they've got some great baseball tradition. Really is.
That man has done more for baseball, or he's done as much for college baseball as Babe Ruth did for Major League Baseball.
That'll bring up the third baseman for USC, Al Villasenor. He's out of North Hollywood, a junior, 6 feet tall, 180 pounds. Fouls it straight back to the backstop screen. 0-1 to Villasenor, who last year played shortstop, and Henley, who was coming off a knee injury, played third, hitting .229, a home run, and 21 RBIs. This year, since Henley got his range back, they flip-flopped, and Villasenor now playing third, and Henley back at shortstop. Henley gets back.
Villasenor doesn't have a whole lot of power, so they try and play a lot of contact game with him. They may try to hit and run. They may try to run and hit just to get him to hit the ball on the ground.
In there, strike 2.
What we saw right there, Jeff, was a tailing fastball, and this is what Steve Conley's best pitch is. He tries to move the ball around a lot, push him back off the plate, and then tries to get him to hit the ball on the ground with that tailing fastball.
Conley trying to keep Henley tied up at the bag so that they can go for the double play. SC does not run much with the exception of Don Buford Jr. Strikeout number 1 for Steve Conley. That gives him 34 on the campaign. That's a big out. 2 down.
Look at this pitch right here. Good fastball, just challenged him. Villasenor just swung right through it. As you can see, kept his head down, but then for the last minute he pulled out. When you're hitting 229, you can tell you missed those pitches.
Manny Anguiano, the left fielder, hitting cleanup for the second time. He was inserted in the cleanup spot on Monday. That was the first time this season he'd hit in the number 4 spot.
They have moved Manny around a lot lately.
And he takes a strike. Anguiano really doesn't have the numbers you would expect from a cleanup hitter. 267 average, couple of home runs and 20 RBIs, but he doesn't strike out much. Again, a throw to first. Henley back.
He's your basic line drive hitter. He hits the ball a lot to the opposite field. He's got line drive power in the alleys, and Rod Day is just trying to move the lineup around a little bit to get something going, because they've really struggled as of late with their offense. And so we talked to him earlier today, and he said he's just beside himself. He's trying all kinds of combinations to see if he can get something to click.
Popped up behind home plate, out of play. 0-2 to Manny Anguiano. No score, bottom of the first. UC Santa Barbara versus USC.
Playing left field for him tonight is another experience. He hasn't played out there too often, and we talked a little bit about it before the game, and he says, I'm just going to try and keep the ball in front of me and hope I don't look bad.
That's the way to do it. That's how you play the outfield.
Yeah, I played on the fence. It's always easy to keep the ball in front of you then.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Anguiano.
Right now, he's got him ahead in the count, and I've got to look for... He's got to try and keep the ball in on him a little bit. He knows that Manny likes to hit the ball in the other way. With 2 strikes, he's going to choke over a little bit, just try and play pepper, trying to hit the ball to right field.
Henley goes, and they've got the throw to first, but he makes it into second as the ball goes into left field as first baseman Greg Vela had trouble getting the baseball out of his glove, and Henley is safe at second base.
What you saw there, Jeff, was the fact that Henley was picked off, and instead of stirring or stopping, he just kept going. He had made his move, he was stealing, and when the throw was made over there, he just kept going, and he beat the throw. See, he's going no matter what. And now that he knows he's been picked off, he is busting his tail to get down there, a head-first slide. He's a gutsy player. The throw beat him there, but he knocked the shortstop out of the way. That's probably why he's kept him.
Stolen base for Henley. That is his 9th stolen base of the campaign. 1-2, the count to Anguiano. Chopper foul over towards the Gauchos dugout.
Well, there was the inside pitch that we talked about earlier. Now, I think that Conley will try and come with that tailing fastball away, hopefully making him hit the ball on the ground, or maybe taking it for strike 3.
Steve Conley trying to work out of it. Henley in scoring position with 2 down. Henley at second base, 1-2 to Anguiano. No score, bottom of the first. Up high, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
He went right after him with that fastball.
USC leads the series between the 2 schools, which began back in 1940. 48-24-1 as Henley leads off second base. Fouled away again down the left field line.
Well, he's sticking with them inside. It was an off-speed breaking ball. He tried to get him out front on it, and he was.
5 balls.
Neither one of these pitchers we see tonight is going to try and blow the ball by anybody. As you can tell by the scouts down in front of us, we do not see any radar guns out here. Both of them are control pitchers, and they move the ball around a lot in the strike zone and try and make the hitters put the ball in play.
Fouled away, back to the screen. For USC, coaching at third is Keith Brown, former USC outfielder under Rod Dato. And over at first, Don Buford Sr. He coached for San Francisco for a few years, played in the big leagues for 10 with the Chicago White Sox and Baltimore Orioles, and then finished up in Japan. A great athlete.
What a player he was when he played in the big league.
Oh, yes.
He gave it 110%. I admire him. I played against him. He was a tough out. He was the kind of guy you always hated to face in a clutch situation.
Anguiano had a notion held up.
Sure
Full
did.
count.
But that foul ball, it came right back through the screen and tried to get us, Jeff, huh? Glad we're sitting over this end of it.
All strike three. It caught the inside corner, and Anguiano did not agree with the call. The ump figured, hey, anything that close, you have to be swinging as we take another look.
He moved him away with the fastball, then he came right back in with the fastball inside, and I tell you what, it's a good call by the umpire because it's on the inside part of the plate.
Okay, in the bottom of the first third, the Trojans, they leave a man. Coming up for the Gauchos, Vela, Mack, and Johnson.
This is today's Chevrolet, and this is today's Chevrolet. This Chevrolet is specially modified for the International Race of Champions. This is the new Camaro IROC Z28 built for you. Chevrolet has powered more winners than anyone in American racing history, and that helped us build this Chevrolet. World champions drive this Camaro, but the Camaro IROC Z28 makes you feel like a champion.
Now, 7.9% financing on the hot Camaros at your Southern California Chevrolet dealer.
Right now, all 32 Discount Tire stores are having a spring sale on Michelin because so much is riding on your tires. Now you can save up to 40% on Michelins. Discount Tire stores will not be undersold. Hurry, save up to 40% now at Discount Tire stores spring sale. Discount Tire stores, we cut prices, not quality.
Live from Dado Field on the campus of USC. One inning in the books here. USC versus UC Santa Barbara. No score as we go to the second. Right-hander Mike Sieber, who put the Gauchos down 1-2-3 in the top of the first, ready to work to Greg Vela, Quinn Mack, and Eric Johnson in that order. Vela, the cleanup man. He's put some pretty good numbers on the board so far.
He sure has. Here's another dead pull hitter, all power, 11 home runs. He's got kind of an uppercut swing, and he lets it fly. He doesn't get cheated up there.
306 average and 40 RBIs. Slow breaking pitch over for a strike, 0-1.
You can bet he's looking for a fastball he can get on top of and hammer somewhere. He's going to take that slow curveball.
Slight breeze blowing towards right field. Timeout called, no pitch.
Bob Hernandez walking around checking a few things out here. He's right on top of things. This kid's got a good chance to be a pro prospect here, Jeff.
Fouls it back. 0-2.
Not too many people realize it also that Greg is an excellent outfielder and a first baseman.
In the dirt, 1 ball and 2 strikes. For UC Santa Barbara, they're guided by Al Ferrer in his 6th season as the head coach. He coached a couple of years at Azusa Pacific before taking over at UCSB. Everywhere he goes, he wins.
You know what he does that I really like, Jeff, is he has put a lot of his players on weight programs, which when I first started, weight programs were taboo. But he's got his players lifted weights, and there are 2 or 3 players that have improved dramatically over 1 year, as you can tell by their averages.
The last 4 years, I think 28 have signed professionally as Vela pulls it foul down the right field line.
Again, Vela, we know, is a dead pull hitter. He's going to try and pull everything, and of course you're going to see Mike Sieber out there throwing nothing but off-speed pitches, hoping that he gets out in front of her and maybe pops it up.
Slow stuff misses outside, 2-2. And again, Jay, we see the center fielder, Kevin Janik, over to his right towards left center and a big gap in right center.
I don't understand that, Jeff. I really don't, because they're throwing them off-speed pitches and you've got dead pull hitters up. You've got to play them in the gaps.
Outside again, the count goes all the way now. 3-2 to Greg Vela, leading off the top of the second for UC Santa Barbara. No score. I'm Jeff Witcher along with Jay Johnstone. Hope you're enjoying the ball game on Prime Ticket.
This situation, even though I'm a fastball hitter, I'd have to look for a breaking ball.
It missed. Ball 4 and Vela's aboard.
There it was, but he didn't get it over for a strike. Sieber has started every hitter off so far with a strike, so he is staying ahead of the hitters.
That'll bring up right fielder Quinn Mack, and yes, he's related to Shane out of UCLA, his brother. Quinn out of Cerritos, 5'9", 175-pound junior. 365 average, a half dozen home runs, and 35 runs batted in. And when he is hot, look out.
He's definitely a streak hitter. He gets in one of those streaks, and he can carry a team for a week.
SC in double play depth. Vela takes his lead. Summers holds him on. Throw to first, and he's back.
The interesting thing about Quinn Mack, Jeff, is the fact that he hits everything the other way. He likes to inside out the ball. He doesn't try and pull the ball. Even if the pitch is inside, he likes to fight it off and go to left center or even in between short and third.
2-0. Coaching at third base for UC Santa Barbara, and this is news, is Bob Bronsema, because this is the first time in 16 years that Al Ferrer has not coached at third base. And over at first, Paul Smith. Quite a traumatic experience for Ferrer.
Well, he's probably trying something new, too.
On the corner for a strike, 2-1. Well, it also shows the confidence he has in his coach, Bronsema, to put him out there.
Well, he knows that he's got a good club, and he's just giving everybody a chance to do something different. As we talked about earlier, this is not an important game to them. It's a tune-up for this weekend series, but they want to get the players out there. They don't want to let them just be lackadaisical. They want them to try and get on top of the game and work on certain things, including their coaches.
Another throw to first, and Vela's back. Something a moment ago you said, full count. You said you'd look breaking pitch rather than fastball.
Well, we know Sieber throws a lot of off-speed pitches, and his best pitch is his curveball. So you got to go with the pitcher's best pitch in that situation.
Get right back through the middle. Base hit for Mack. Vela holds on at second base as Janik gets it back in. So there's the first hit of the ball game.
And that was a line shot, too, right up the middle. Waited on the ball well, took a short stride, had his weight back, and hit the ball just like you're supposed to.
Oh, the reason I brought it up, Jay, I thought usually as a hitter, if you look fastball, you're able to adjust to anything else, whereas the other way around, it's tougher. Is that not true?
That's very true, but in certain situations here, when you know a pitcher uses a curveball as his out pitch, then you've got to go with the percentages. And the percentages where this is a fastball hitting club, they've got power, they've got everything you want. They're going to try and do something different, the SC club is.
Here's Eric Johnson, the corners, looking for the bunt. Pitch misses, ball 1. Johnson checking with Bob Bronsema, the third base coach, who might be hanging out a sign. Henley comes in to talk it over with Sieber.
Eric was a preseason All-American. He's got great power. He's a line drive hitter. He's got a very good eye. He's walked 16 times, and he doesn't take too many pitches. The pitches really have to be way outside or inside for him to walk.
So the Gauchos threatening here in the top of the second. Runners at first and second, nobody out. 1 ball. The count to Eric Johnson. Here's a shot, base hit to left field. Anguiano coming up with the ball, and Vela being held at the last minute at third.
Good play by Anguiano. He got the ball, got it back into the cutoff man, did everything you're supposed to do for an outfielder.
So Eric Johnson hit a shot. Anguiano was playing him perfectly over towards the line, and that kept the run from coming in.
Look at the style on Eric Johnson hit. He stayed right in there, watched the ball. Now watch Anguiano when he gets the ball in front of him right there, gets set, and makes the perfect throw to the cutoff man. The coach had to stop him.
Now the designated hitter, Tom Logan.
And here come the Gauchos.
Logan, another local product out of West Covina.
Hey, my hometown.
In for a strike.
What do you know? Come on, Tom, for the old hometown boys.
Hitting .337, a couple of home runs, 24 runs batted in. Logan, a junior. This is his first year at UCSB. He transferred from Citrus College.
Coach Ferrer said that this is the guy in a key situation that he wants hitting. He's their clutch hitter. Well, the sacks are drunk. You can't have any more key situation than this.
1 ball and 1 strike to Logan. The base is full. No score, top of the second. Down low. For the Gauchos at third, Greg Vela. Quinn Mack at second. Standing at first base, Eric Johnson.
We'll see if he lives up to his reputation. He has set a record in the school for sacrifice flies with 8. And this is the guy they want out there with 1 or less outs because he can do the job. So we'll see if he comes through.
Great pitch on the outside corner, just about knee-high, and that evens the count at 2-2.
That's a tough pitch to hit there in anybody's league.
So Mike Sieber in a whole bunch of trouble here in the second. Bags are full of Gauchos. Top of the second, no score, USC and UC Santa Barbara. Chopper hit to the right side. Housley goes to Henley for 1 on to first, double play, and coming in to score is Greg Vela, and Santa Barbara jumps out in front 1-0, but USC gets the double play.
Well, it couldn't have had any better guy up there than Tom Logan hitting for the SC defense because he's their slowest runner. And as you can see here, it's an excellent play. Comes off the bag well. Henley over to Scott Summers. Double play. Well executed.
1-0, Santa Barbara. Remember now, no RBI for Logan. Advancing to third on the play, Quinn Mack, 2 down. And here's Tim McKercher. Nice play by Jimmy Campanis. That may have saved a run.
Sure did. Not only has everybody talked about how proud his grandfather is, but his father, Jim Campanis Jr., who was my roommate, is very proud.
Watch
Campanis.
Campanis.
Taught him well. He got right in front of the ball, kept it in front of him, off the chest, making it go down, and he picked up the runner.
McKercher takes a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to the Gauchos' fine catcher, Tim McKercher.
Timmy's kind of a contact hitter, or actually he just tries to punch the ball. He doesn't have any power. He hits mostly singles.
2-1 the count.
In fact, he's only got 3 extra base hits the whole season, and all 3 of them are doubles.
308 average, and he's driven home 13 runs. 1, a game winner. 1-0, UC Santa Barbara leading USC. Top of the second here at Dado Field. That'll cost him a strike.
That's not a bad play there. The third baseman, Will Senor's playing way back, and he's got a chance to lay the ball down and pick up a run. That's a great play. I like it.
So Deuces Wild here in the second. 2-2 the count with 2 outs, and Mack at third. 1 run in, 1-0 UC Santa Barbara. Fouls it off the end of the stick.
Again, we see another off-speed pitch.
Al Ferrer.
We had a nice conversation with him today, didn't we, Jeff?
Yeah, he's a nice man.
He's done a good job for the UC Santa Barbara. And a lot of players are willing to change over and come to this school now because of the new baseball program he's instituted there in the last 6 years.
Fouled away again.
The other thing he told me that sometimes is a little bit disturbing, when they go out recruiting players to come to their college, they have a very high academic elastic group of kids there, and you have to keep a very high grade point average to play there. And a lot of times some kids can't get in.
It's kind of a double-edged sword. You like to hear about kids going for an education, but sometimes it hurts win-loss-wise. There's a high fly ball into right field. Buford has room right at the warning track and hauls it in. So Tim McKercher gave it a ride, but he was a few feet short. In the second for the Gauchos, 1 run on a couple of hits, 1 man left. And at the end of an inning and a half, Santa Barbara 1, USC nothing.
Out on the town, flying around, pizzas disappear. Now you're talking Friday night, now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is spoken here.
Stroh Light. Smooth, refreshing, less filling.
Now you're talking Stroh's. Now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is spoken here. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Oh, it won't be long till you're gonna need somebody to
Get Chevy's lowest financing ever. 6.9% on the S10 pickup at your Southern California Chevrolet dealer.
Here at Dado Field on the campus of USC on a cool evening. The fans bundled up. We've got a close one. Bottom of the second, it's Santa Barbara 1, USC nothing. But not Johnstone. He's taking his coat off, his sweater off, his tie off. What comes off next?
This is Chicago weather for being out in the sun and going out to Lake Michigan.
Hey,
look at there. There's a Chicagoan. It's joined right in the game there. No socks, no scarf.
How many burritos have you eaten?
Only one. Only one. I'm a growing boy. I need to, I don't want to starve myself there. I just, good cup of coffee and a burrito.
Here comes Scott Summers, who leads the Pac-10 Southern Division in hitting. He is a good one, the first baseman for USC. In fact, he was converted to first base last year. He stands 6'3", weighs in at 185 pounds, a .434 average, 4 home runs, 39 runs batted in.
You know, Jeff, his nickname is Roy Hobbs from the Natural movie with Robert Redford. Every time that SC has needed a key hit in a situation to help him in a game, Roy Hobbs Summers has come through for him, so that's how he got his nickname.
First ball swinging, hits it down to the first baseman who bobbles, but Bella now underhands to Conley in time to get Summers. 3-1. So Steve Conley, the left-hander, did his job by being at the right place when he's supposed to, and that's first base on all balls hit to the right side, and once in a while a pitcher will forget.
You'd be surprised, Jeff, how many guys in the big leagues get caught in that position where they forget to cover or are coming off the mound very slow, and a guy with speed can beat him.
Here's Kaha Wong, the USC DH tonight. Fastball up high, ball 1. Kaha has hit .259 thus far, 3 home runs and 23 runs batted in.
Speaking of weightlifting, Jeff, Kaha competes in the light heavyweight powerlifting competition in Hawaii. Well, he can put some big numbers on those weights when he lifts them.
Well, he looks like he's got a pretty good build and some of those muscles sticking out underneath.
Well, it's not from eating pineapple, that's for sure.
1-1, the count to him. Kaha, the DH, who usually goes against left-handers. Fastball inside, 2-1.
It's amazing how many lineup changes that Rod Dado has used. It reminds me of Lasorda. Every time something's going wrong, they've got lineup change number 630.
That evens it at 2-2. So Kaha Wong, who is a right-handed hitter, he has a closed stance. And look, the right fielder is way over towards the line, Quinn Mack.
In the right fielder being over there, Quinn Mack has to bring the center fielder with him. He's got to bring Pasqua over because they've got a gigantic gap in right center. But this is college baseball.
Full count now to Kaha Wong. 1-0 Santa Barbara here in the bottom of the second inning.
In the big leagues, Jeff, you would have a coach watching it very closely and move all the outfielders accordingly.
Got him.
Good fastball. Challenged him.
Third strikeout of the night for Steve Conley.
This is one where you got a fastball pitcher going right after him here, and he throws it right there. Kaha just swings right through it. before, and some of those games that I've missed those fastballs, I've gone back to the bench saying I'd love to have that one back.
Here's the catcher, Jim Campanis, grandson of Al Campanis, vice president, in charge of player personnel for the Dodgers. He's out of Yorba Linda, and he has done very well when called upon. 429 average and 3 RBIs.
Yes, he sure has. You know he's got to be nervous in his first start.
He takes the strike, 0-1. He hasn't played a whole lot. He's caught quite a bit, but he hasn't had that many at-bats. In fact, this is only his 15th at-bat of the season. Fouls it back, so he's in a hole now, 0-2.
You can bet he gets some outstanding teaching from father and grandfather on the aspects of defensive catching and also hitting. Of course, Jimmy Jr. was a better defensive catcher than he was a hitter. And, of course, the Chief, we won't go into that.
Jimmy was also a fine football player in high school. Quarterback, punter, and place kicker. He takes down low and inside. 1-2 to Campanis.
All-around athlete.
Played for Valencia High School.
You know, as a freshman, too, he's got a chance to grow and learn to really become an outstanding player.
The left-hander, Conley, thought he had the strikeout. He was heading towards the Gauchos dugout, and Hernandez said, hey, wait a minute.
Ball was
put
down.
My right arm up in the air.
It was down. It was down.
That's 2-2, the count.
That's when the catcher tries to fool the umpires. He's up, there it goes. He's heading toward the dugout.
Got him. So, 4 strikeouts for the end of 2 innings. It's UC Santa Barbara leading the Trojans of USC 1-0. Two strong Pac-10 ball teams hook up in an important battle here on Prime Ticket. It's the Bruins of UCLA and the Wildcats of Arizona in a baseball matchup that will have major implications on the Pac-10 standings. The Bruins have been near the top of the conference most of the season, and the Wildcats want to take that privilege away. Prime Ticket will go the full 9 yards in this one. UCLA and Arizona from Westwood. See you at the ballpark. NCAA Intercollegiate Volleyball Western Regional Semifinals exclusively on the Prime Ticket Television Network. Tonight's USC Trojan baseball game is being brought to you by Chevrolet, where interest rates on new cars and trucks start as low as 6.9%. See your Chevrolet dealer today for low, flexible financing. By Discount Tire Stores, offering you quality tires and service at discount prices. And by Avis Rent-A-Car, with over 70 locations to serve you. Send Avis and SOS. 2 innings in the books here at Dato Field on the campus of USC, and the Gauchos of UC Santa Barbara have a 1-0 lead on USC as right-hander Mike Sieber warms up, getting ready for the top of the third. He'll be facing Vance Pasqua, Scott Cerny, and Mark Leonard of the Gauchos.
Now, Sieber only lasted 3 innings in his only other start, Jeff, and that was against Cal Poly of Pomona. So this will be an interesting inning for him.
Pasqua out of Belmont, 5'9", 180-pound junior, hitting .367, 3 home runs, and 26 runs batted in. How's this? A .367 hitter hitting 9th in your lineup.
Reminds me of the 77 Cincinnati Reds when Cesar Geronimo was the 8th hitter hitting .320. He didn't have an easy out. Every time we went in to face that club, the pitchers go, oh, my arm, my back. Nobody wanted to pitch against Cincinnati back to the Big Red Machine.
1 ball, the count to it. Right down the middle, 1-1.
The thing about Pasqua, he is an excellent opposite field hitter. And he's he's somewhat of a long ball threat. Primarily, he hits line drives in the alleys, a lot of extra bases, but he can jolt the ball out of the ballpark, as you can see.
Yeah, he had 8 big ones last year for the Gauchos. Hits that one and slices it foul down the right field side. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Pasqua, leading off the top of the third for the Gauchos.
It's very deceiving as a hitter because he's got somewhat of an open stance. That foot flies out of there, but then he's got like a delayed swing. He swings late, and he hits a lot of balls the other way. And so you really, if I'm the center fielder, you've got to play him in right center. And, of course, nobody's watching the SC defense, and we'll see what happens.
Way inside, 2-2. That breeze that was blowing earlier has stopped. And the outfield for USC playing at Pasqua to pull the ball. The center fielder is over to his right a few steps. And you see the big gap in right center field again.
Large gap.
There's a shot to left field. That's going to drop. Base hit. Anguiano gets it back in. So the Gauchos have 3 hits off Mike Sieber.
Well, that was a slow curveball, and that time they had the outfield in the right position, but they didn't have anybody in short enough position.
That'll bring up the second baseman, Scott Cerny, as we go back to the top of the order. Cerny grounded to Henley his first time up. He's 0 for 1. USC in double play depth. There goes the runner, and the pitch is in for a strike. The throw to Henley. They get him.
What a throw. What a throw. Well, there's that defensive ability of Jimmy Campanis Jr. Under the pressure of a guy that will steal, he threw the ball right on the money. And the guy tried to fake the bunt. It was not an attempted bunt, just a fake to delay the pitch. And the throw was right on the bag. What a throw.
Watch Henley's glove. The ball just goes right to it.
Sir, and Pasqua will steal. Couldn't ask for a better throw than that.
Down low, so 1-1 the count to Cerny.
I guess you can't be too nervous to make throws like that.
Cerny hits a high fly ball to right center field and deep. Kevin Janik on his horse, but he's there, turns and hauls it down. So Cerny hit it a long way, but he got under it a bit, so Janik had time. 2 down here in the third, and it brings up the Gauchos left fielder, Mark Leonard. He grounded out his first time up, so he's 0 for 1. Started the night at 387, so he'll lose a couple of points on that average. 1-0 Santa Barbara, top of the third. In the dirt.
We'll see if Mark is a little particular on his pitches. He's walked 34 times, has an excellent eye. In fact, he's got the best on-base percentage with walks on the club. So it'll be interesting to see if he's a little anxious or if he'll wait for his pitch instead of trying to hit a pitcher's curveball.
Mike Sieber, finesse pitcher, control-type pitcher. Misses down low, 2-0.
He does move the ball around, doesn't he, Jeff?
He sure does. Mike came to the Trojans from Loyola Marymount, where he was a spot starter in his first 2 years of college. In there, 2-1.
Of the Gauchos, 3 singles. They've all been hard, Jeff, and they've had 2 long warning track flies, so they're not exactly popping the ball up.
Hit to the right side by Summers into right field, base hit.
Wouldn't you know it, the cheapest of the 4 hits had to be a seeing eye ground ball to right field. It's always the way it is, but I'll take it.
So although the Gauchos have 2 hits here in the inning, Pasqua led off with a base hit to left, but Campanis gunned him down trying to steal, so there's a runner at first and 2 down, and the hitter now is the third baseman, Vince Teixeira, who fanned his first time up. Bad throw, so Leonard will get up. He heads to second as Summers will not be able to get the ball in time. Instead, it's Buford.
And Mark Leonard tripped as he got to second base, and he almost went down. He lost his footing a little bit, stumbled. He couldn't go on, or he'd been a dead duck. You can see he was going back. It was just a bad throw. Then the alertness of the outfielder coming in, and Scott Summers racing over there. But Mark Leonard trips right at second base there. Think he'll get a little ribbing from his teammates on that one?
More than a little.
Hey.
E1, so give Sieber the air to allow Leonard to go to second base. Vince Teixeira, the batter for UC Santa Barbara. They lead it 1-0 here in the third. In the dirt, gets away from Campanis, and going to third and holding there is Mark Leonard.
That really hurt him when he stumbled going around second now, because had he gone to third like he should have, they would have had another run.
Wild pitch is the call.
That ball's right in the dirt. Campanis really couldn't handle it. That's a tough play. But that's what catchers are supposed to do. You've still got to position yourself to get in front of that ball and block it and knock the ball down. I'm sure that Junior will hear about that one.
Rod Dado hoping his defense can hold and Sieber can get out of this jam. Keep Leonard from coming in to score. It's 1-0 Santa Barbara. Foul back. 1 ball and 1 strike to Vince Teixeira.
53 RBIs and 11 home runs and hitting .400. Not a bad mark in college right now in his career. Amazing.
Teixeira and Vela with 11 home runs. They both have a shot at the record as Leonard takes his lead from third. 12 is the home run mark in a season for a Gaucho. The team home run record, and they have their eyes set on that, was set last year 62, and coming into tonight they've got 50.
Sure do. They've got a good chance to break it.
2-1 the count to Teixeira. Leonard at third, 2 outs, 1-0 Santa Barbara, top of the third inning. Strike 2.
Quick fastball down and in. Now we come to the situation. Tough hitter, 2-2, 2 outs. Off-speed pitch. Much for an off-speed pitch.
I'm up there looking for an off-speed pitch.
We're going to go against the grain and
I better not get embarrassed on this.
Okay.
Well, you fouled off down the left field side. Way out of play.
He tried to pitch him in and jam him. Pretty tough to jam a college player today in a game with aluminum bats. You can fight off almost any pitch inside because you know the bat isn't going to break and it's not going to sting your hands. That's one of the biggest things about some of these pitchers afraid to throw inside, because you know you can't jam them, and a hitter going up there, he doesn't mind looking away because he knows if the pitch is inside, even if he does get jammed, it's not going to hurt his hands. With a wooden bat, the bat's liable to splinter. You're liable to get a bone bruise.
2-2 the count to Teixeira with 2 down, and Leonard at third.
There's the
breaking pitch, and he is struck out.
That's the pitch.
For Santa Barbara in the third, no runs, 2 hits, 1 error, 1 man left at the end of 2.5, 1-0 Santa Barbara.
Ordinary videotape can't survive today's sophisticated VCRs. Features like fast forward, freeze frame, and high-speed scanning start destroying your tape from the very first play. So if you've got a sophisticated VCR, get a tape that can stand up to it.
Maxell tapes are available at Federated Superstores.
Barbecues and cowboy shoes, guitars and high gear. Now you're talking country. Now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's are spoken here.
Stroh's, fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste.
Now you're talking Stroh's. Now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's are spoken here.
We We get ready for the bottom of the third here at Dado Field on the campus of USC. Santa Barbara 1, USC nothing.
The cheap seats. Conley's done a great job in 2 innings. In his 6 outs, he's got 4 Ks.
Where's Euchre? Where's Euchre? He usually sits out there, doesn't he?
He's on top of that building behind those folks. That's where he is. He's working on his TV series. Conley's done an excellent job so far pitching tonight. And, of course, you know, with the inconsistency of the Trojan offense, it doesn't help to have a pitcher on there that's a good control pitcher, throwing for a location, and is hitting those spots when he can.
I'll say, in the 2 innings that he's worked, he has faced 7 men. He has struck out 4 of them, and he's given up 1 walk. Henley, the only base runner for USC. Ken Housley, their second baseman, will start it off here in the bottom of the third. He'll be followed by Kevin Janik, and then the leadoff man, Don Buford. Housley out of Colton, California, 5'9", 165-pounder, hitting .275 on the campaign with 1 home run and a dozen RBIs. Housley has been hitting very well of late. In fact, he has a 5-game hitting streak going.
Yes, he does. He's your basic line drive hitter. I think off Steve Conley, you're going to see him trying to hit the ball more up the middle, maybe even trying to hit the ball to left field, being a left-handed hitter.
That breeze has picked up again and is blowing out towards right field.
I sure would like to play in some parks when the breeze blew out to right field.
2-0 the count.
I always got those ones where the breeze blew out to left field or it blew in from right.
On the corner for a strike, 2-1. That's so true, because at Wrigley Field, Chicago, everybody always thought, oh, it blows out. But a lot of times it was blowing in.
I would say 85% of the time it blew in or blew to left field.
Pulled it down to the first baseman. Short hop nicely by Bella, who does it himself.
He sure did. That was a very clunky sound contact made on that ball. You can tell he got the ball in on him on the hand. And, of course, if it had been a wooden bat, it would have broken it, but he hit the ball very weakly to Bella. There's been so much controversy about this aluminum bat situation.
Get rid of them.
Well, we've heard several pro teams talk about funding the colleges just to get wooden bats back, but who knows? You know, and, of course, as a hitter, I'd love to hit with an aluminum bat. That's like playing with a cork bat with a wooden one.
Here's the center fielder, Kevin Janik of USC. He's out of Calabasas. He takes a strike.
That's it. Good play, Kevin. Get the infielders to move in a little bit. Oh, they're going back again. Now here comes Vince.
Kevin on the year hitting .296, has yet to hit a home run with 17 runs batted in. 1 ball and 1 strike to Janik. 1-0 UC Santa Barbara. Bottom of the third inning. Hold it foul way down the right field line.
He got that one in on him.
Into the darkness.
Kevin is really not known as your home run hitter. Basic line drive contact hitter. Not really too much power, but he will hit the ball in the gaps, and he's got some ability to get the double.
The only run of the ball game scored by Santa Barbara came in the second. They loaded the bases, a walk, back-to-back singles, and then on a double play ball, Greg Bella came in to score, and that's the story. We're in the bottom of the third. 2-2. The count now to Kevin Janik. Nobody on and 1 out. Bottom of the third.
2-2, no out, 1 out. Got to go that fastball in the out. Well, they'll probably try and jam him here. Fastball inside.
Yep. There's the fastball. He jammed him, and he fouls it right back to the backstop screen. 2-2, the count.
It's tough to be able to guard both sides of the plate as a left-hand hitter versus a left-handed pitcher, so you almost have to give up a little bit, and a left-handed pitcher knows this, so therefore he tries to keep the ball inside as much as possible so you don't get to extend your arms and get any power on your swing at all. Once in a while I'll try a slider on the outside corner, but then most often most good pitchers will jam left-handed hitters when they're ahead or even in the count.
When you talk about hitters guessing, a lot of times they're not necessarily guessing at the pitch, they're guessing location.
Guessing location.
Fly ball hits the center field, and hustling back is Vance Pasqua. He's got plenty of room. It's deep out there, 425 to dead center, and that is the second out.
There's a situation there. He got the breaking ball a little out over the plate. I don't think he wanted to put it there, and Kevin was able to extend his hands a little bit and get some pop on the ball. And he doesn't have the home run power, but somebody else in that lineup could maybe juice that ball out of the ballpark.
So 2 down for USC in the bottom of the third. Back to the top of the order, leadoff man and right fielder Don Buford Jr. He hit the ball very hard right down the third baseline, and that was the first play of the game where Vince Teixeira made a nice play, threw low, and then Bella dug it out of the dirt. And this one eats up Teixeira, and Eric Johnson, the shortstop backing him up, doesn't even try to make the play. And they give him an infield single, too hot to handle.
You know, in this situation here, Teixeira playing, there has to play in because they know Buford can bunt. So he's playing in almost on the grass. And when Buford hits the ball hard, he really doesn't have time to react to it when that ball comes out that low in the bat. And it bouncing him in the shoulder over the shortstop. It is an infield. It's a good call by the scorer.
Dan Henley, who walked his first time up, try to keep it alive. There goes Buford, the throw to first. Now the throw down to the shortstop, and they get Buford. So 1-3-6, and that'll do it for USC in the third. No runs on 1 hit. Nobody left. At the end of 3, it's Santa Barbara 1, USC nothing.
Your Southern California Chevy dealers present Chevy Super Tour 86, starring the fabulous Alabama. And your Chevy dealer is celebrating with a fine selection of Chevy cars and trucks. We've got Novas, Spectrums, Camaros, S10 pickups, S10 Blazers, and more. Come celebrate Chevy Super Tour 86 with Alabama. See your Southern California Chevy dealer now.
With the spring comes racing from Hollywood Park. And with Hollywood Park comes a day of action-filled thoroughbred racing that will keep you on the edge of your seats from starting gate to finish line. And as we've done since our inception, we'll return you to Hollywood Park from Santa Anita for the nightly highlights of the spring racing season. So be with us as we send your way racing highlights from Hollywood Park Wednesdays through Sundays exclusively on your sports outlet in Southern California, Prime Ticket. We've got more exciting NCAA baseball coming your way this Friday. Stanford takes on USC, 6:50 right here from Dado Field. That's a big Pac-10 Southern Division contest. That'll be the opening of a 3-game series, Stanford and USC. So join us right here on Prime Ticket for exciting college baseball. 1-0, Santa Barbara leading USC as we go to the top of the fourth. For the Gauchos, Greg Vela will start it off, to be followed by Quinn Mack and Eric Johnson. Vela scored the only run of the ball game. He walked in the second, eventually came around to score on a double play ball. Ball 1.
Again, we see the dead pull hitter up, and the SC defense is playing him as though he was a right-handed pull hitter. They have at least moved the right fielder a little in the right field gap, but still there's a lot of right field out there. And they either have a game plan, they want to pitch him away and hope he hits that way, but when you got a dead pull hitter up in a breaking ball pitcher, you've got to play him the other way.
2-0 the count. So Sieber has done a pretty good job. He's allowed the 1 run on 4 hits, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk, and 1 wild pitch.
And he's thrown 59 pitchers with 29 strikes.
Just missed on that one. 3-0 the count to Greg Vela. You give him the green light here?
I definitely have the green light on. 1 run is not very much in this game.
He takes it, strike, 3-1.
I think he was taking it on his own that time because Coach Farrar is hollering instructions out at him now. A lot of encouragement.
Ball 4. Second walk allowed by Sieber, and both times it's been to the leadoff man of the inning. Bella back in the second, and Bella here in the fourth.
There's a baseball stat that has been compiled over the years, and that is that 70% of the guys that lead off the inning with a walk score, and only 40% of the guys that get on base hit score. You figure that one out.
Mack 1 for 1. He had a base hit up the middle back in the second. Bella draws a throw.
This kid has the scouts whispering a lot because he can do a lot of things. He can run, he can hit with power, he can play defense. Definitely a pro prospect.
So Bella takes his lead. Summers holds him on. 1-0 UC Santa Barbara, fourth inning. Quinn Mack, the batter for the Gauchos. 1 ball and no strikes to Mack.
Coach Farrar put him definitely on a weight program last year, and he's responded to the fact that he told us earlier he hits the ball the hardest of anybody on his team.
He has 18 doubles this season. Another throw to first, and again, Bella back. Summers holding Bella. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for the Gauchos. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error for USC. Outside, ball 2.
You can tell that they know Quinn Mack hits the ball the opposite way. The right fielder is almost playing in right center.
Timeout called. Campanis goes out to visit with his pitcher, Mike Sieber. Sieber in his 4th inning of work, and throwing behind him is right-hander Court Wright. Court Wright without the jacket on the left of your screen.
Look at that outfield positioning out there. The right fielder is way over in right center. The center fielder is shading him to left center, and the left fielder is in left center.
Fouled away by Mack. 2-1 the count.
You know, for many years they did the Ted Williams shift, if you remember, Jeff. Of course, I was a little boy, but you might remember those things.
Never worked.
But sometimes, you know, it gets to a player's ego, and no matter if the shift is on and they're giving him one whole section, the player says, "I'll show him," and he tries to hit the ball to where all the guys are standing, to hit it through him, just to show him.
Hit off the inside part of the bat, foul up along third.
Quinn Mack is definitely trying to hit that ball the opposite way. He really insided out that pitch.
2-2 the count to Quinn Mack.
Of course, there's a somewhat fair hitter in the American League that inside outs the ball all the time by the name of Wayne Boggs. Not too bad a hitter over in Boston. I think he accidentally led the American League in hitting last year, if I'm not wrong.
Of course, here in Southern California, we'll always remember the great inside-out home run swing. The Coliseum days of Wally Moon and the moonshots.
Wasn't he something? He had that wall down there to science.
Ball 3. So Sieber goes all the way to Mack with Greg Bella at first base. Nobody out. 1-0 Santa Barbara, fourth inning.
You know who took a lot of credit for having Wally hit that way was Al Campanis. He tried to get Wally to go that way, worked on him with it, and really Al deserves a lot of credit for Wally Moon's ability to go the opposite way.
Bella goes, and the pitch is hit right back through the middle, base hit. So Bella turns, he's going to third as Janet gets it back in. So the Gauchos are in business here in the fourth with runners at first and third, nobody out, and Eric Johnson coming up. So Mack has hit the ball very solidly both times up, and both times right back through the middle.
You know, and people think about that. you realize the pitcher is the closest one to you, and behind him is nobody. So all you got to do is get it by that pitcher, even if it's chopped and it's a 52 round. Well, we got a little manager action here, Coach Ferrer.
He loves his clubs to run. In fact, in his first year at Santa Barbara, they led the nation in stolen bases with 215. They're not running quite as much this year. First pitch is in there to Eric Johnson, 0-1.
You know, he mentioned the reason why. When you got 4 guys hitting 400, you don't need to run.
Plus, they have the power guys, too.
You're going to have guys on base, and again, now you've got the guys that come up that can hit the ball out of the ballpark. You don't want to take the bat out of their hand.
You got their signs down yet?
Yes. Walk, hit, and score.
One ball and 1 strike to Eric Johnson. He singled to left field back in the second. 1-0 UC Santa Barbara, looking for more here in the 4th inning. Throw to first, and Mack is back.
It's really funny that Eric, who has 16 walks and leads the team, really does not like to take. So it's kind of a contrasting situation. He'll swing a lot at the first pitch.
Breaking pitch is over, strike.
Some situations as a hitter, I know past, you like to run the count.
Greg Bella at third. And Mack gets back as they try to keep him tied up at the bag at first.
A little quick throw over there. No outs, we might see something happen here.
Mack, if you're wondering, has 10 stolen bases in 13 attempts.
He can run.
87 stolen bases as a team for the Gauchos this year. 1-2 the count. Now the throw. He just did get back. Very close play that time. Bella is at third.
They're not taking any chances. This also disturbs the concentration for the hitter, too, Jeff.
There goes a runner, and it's swung on and fouled away.
The logic of throwing over the first 2 or 3 times is the fact that we know Quinn Mack can run, but that Mike Sieber is a breaking ball pitcher, and it's very easy to steal a base on a breaking ball. So therefore, you do have to keep the runner closer to first base if you're going to throw a lot of breaking ball. And as we saw there, he threw one to Eric Johnson.
1 ball and 2 strikes. We'll keep an eye on Mack. He does not go, and the pitch is a fastball, low and away. 2-2. 1-0 UC Santa Barbara, top of the 4th inning. We're at Dado Field on the campus of USC, a non-conference affair. Hope you're enjoying the action here on Prime Ticket. I'm Jeff Witcher, along with Jay Johnstone. Another throw, and Mack again is back.
And it's really a great night for a game. It's turned out, I thought it'd be a lot colder, but it's wonderful out here. And we hope you folks out there have as much fun as we are. Nothing like being at the old ball game.
Mack goes, and it's fouled away again, this time on the right side.
Quinn Mack is getting a very good leadoff at first base, and on the first 2 attempts of his steal, both have been on breaking balls. So I don't know if he can see the signs from first base or not, but on the fastballs, he did not attempt to go, and yet when they threw breaking balls, he was off and running.
Was it just coincidence?
We don't know.
Jay Johnstone will have that answer for you in a moment.
See a fastball here away. See if he goes.
He did not go, and a pitch is hit to the hole and into left field. Bella scores. Mack stops at second on the base hit by Johnson, and it's 2-0 UC Santa Barbara.
Good form. Fastball tailing back into the right-hand hitter. He stays right there, keeps his head down, extends his arm fully, and hits the ball hard. I don't think Mike Sieber wanted to throw that pitch there.
RBI number 35 for Eric Johnson. 2-0 Santa Barbara, and Rod Dado out to the mound. And I mean, they're having quite a meeting. Everybody is there but the outfield.
Okay, Rod, tell us.
He got a little tired. The ball started going up a little bit, you know? Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah. Because, you know, in a spot that way, like we did on the other, you just can't hit a strike, you know. We got to make it be bad and make him swing at something, okay?
Yeah.
The right-hander. All right.
So Rod Dado, figuring that Sieber has tired, will make a pitching change right here. And will bring in his right-hander from the bullpen. And I believe that's Court Wright, who had been warming up.
Sure is.
Okay, go ahead.
So Mike Sieber leaves. He gives up 2 runs thus far, but don't close the book on him because Quinn Mack at second base and Eric Johnson at first base belong to him. And how would you analyze Sieber's performance tonight for USC?
Well, we know that he only went the most 3 innings in his last outing. This was his first start. Primarily, Rod Dado was giving him some work to see what he can do, get a little time on the mound. And for the first 3 innings, he did a good job. I think he just got a little tired. He's not used to pitching this long. He made some good pitches in a key situation when he needed to get that pitch in an area or a strike in a certain part of the plate. He didn't do it. And, of course, with the tremendous team batting average that the Gauchos have, they capitalize on his mistakes, as all good hitting teams will.